talk about the Atari 2600 system. Okay? Specifically, I'm going to go over all of my favorite games for the system, starting now. I'm going to start off with one that is very near and dear to my house. We're going to start off with something that's very near and dear to my heart, and that's Space Invaders. Now, Space Invaders is very special to me because we share the same birthday. Now, we don't have an exact day, but we do know that Space Invaders came out in 1978. As did I. Okay? And according to legend, when this game hit the arcades, it caused a massive coins shortage in Japan, because everyone's 100 yen coins were being eaten up by this particular machine. Okay? And I don't know if that's true or not, but if you played the game, you might believe it, because this is a really great one. This is a game that invented the concept of things being more difficult as you progress in the level. So what happened was, as you defeat the invaders, they start moving faster. And this was actually a complete accident, okay? Because back in the day, they had so few microchips, as you were, that when you erased pixels from the screen, it enabled the processor to actually run faster. So by putting less things on the screen, it just freed up the RAM so you could move them faster. Yeah, it just made everything more enticing, more exciting. I mean, we see that as basic game design 101, but yeah, this was a revelation. And, to this day, I love playing that particular arcade game in the arcades. And to give you some kind of reference, this game predates color televisions, okay? So they actually made these arcade cabinets with black and white TVs. You're saying, no, I remember this being in color, and yes, they did release it in color. But also, what they did was they would put colored cellophane plastic on top of the black and white TV so that the white Space Invaders would change color as they moved down the screen. I know, right? That is like the most low-tech thing you could possibly do and still be considered a video game. They put colored plastic on top of the black and white television. And that they're not the only ones to do this. There's also Breakout and certain other games where this came up. But it's amazing to think something with so low tech could be so popular. But I mean, the gameplay is just so basic and awesome and wonderful that of course it is, because it's Space Invaders. Now, if we look on the box here, it says that there are 112 versions of the game here. Okay, I am not 100% behind that. And yes, they do have versions of the one-player game that get harder, and versions of the two-player game that get more complex. But it's still Space Invaders. Okay, so I think their claim here to 112 is a bit lofty. I mean, this cartridge doesn't even have 112 bits, so it's quite an impressive display. And that brings up the point that a lot of the ports to the 2600 of things that were in the arcade in the early 80s, they're not perfect. Like Asteroids is okay. Pac-Man is kind of but when you play Space Invaders on the 2600, it's Space Invaders. It sounds like Space Invaders. It feels like Space Invaders. You're not missing out on anything. It is the Space Invaders experience in your house. What a miracle! Okay. Well, they do skip out on a couple things. The actual literal shapes of the invaders are not the same as they are in the arcade. Like when you think of Space Invaders, the first thing you think of is Crabface. Okay, he is the quintessential Space Invader. Okay, he's on T-shirts, he's on mobile apps, he's on cookies. Okay, he's a totally awesome Space Invader. And of course, you got Skullface, truly selling home the direness of the situation. We have Skullface. Okay, but then when we play it on 2600, we get TV with legs. We get jellyfish. Crawfish. And then we get, maybe Skullface, but he's facing to the right or to the left. That's not the Skullface I remember. But okay, so superficial imperfections aside, this is still a great game. Okay, and it's definitely something that you should play first if you're getting out the old 2600 here, baby, because it is definitely worth the experience. All right, now while I'm here, I want to tell you about this stunt that Coca-Cola pulled, which I think is hilarious. They went to Atari and had them make a version of Space Invaders where instead of attacking the invaders, you were attacking the letters Pepsi, P-E-P-S-Y, and then one invader on the end, token invader there. And that's, I still can't get over that. This is like a rare collectible that I would love to have in my collection, of course, but yeah, this was just, can you imagine, if you worked for, Ford, and you gave people, a version of Fortnite or something, and all the enemies were Subarus, and you blew up Subarus? That was that is how surreal that this whole thing is. But no, this was a real thing, and this was not released to the public. This was purely for the small family business of Coca-Cola. So, there might be a few copies later out there. But yeah, this is absolutely hilarious. I'd love to play Pepsi Invaders one day. But for now, I am happy playing Space Invaders. Maybe not all 112 versions, but I do love playing Space Invaders on the Atari 2600, and it is totally amazing. So, thank you for spending this time with me. Hope you have a great week. And a little play goes a long way. Thank you.